Well, isn't that interesting? Good morning, everyone. It's just gone 8:15 Indochina time morning. It's it's 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're in the United States or South America or anywhere in between. And we are looking at the 15-minute chart on gold, XAU USD. And this is the candle with Shanghai. Sometimes they make a big move, sometimes they don't. The Asian market tends to move slower than uh, and what we've got here is just a break above the trend line. And now the second candle is starting. So typically, normally I would take a long trade here, but I'm very hesitant to go long to take a buy trade on gold. Very hesitant because we are going to lower prices because gold is bearish. Gold is bearish on the H4 chart and on the D1, the day chart. It's been bearish on H4 chart since all this week and just turned bearish on the day chart yesterday. And bearish means lower prices. So if something is bearish, I look for an opportunity to sell. You can get moves up or pullbacks like this, and then it starts to come on down. Now this could go higher. It could come up here to our pivot point for the day. That's at 49.10, 49.06 is the pivot point for the day. It looks like it wants to try and come up there, but there's just not much momentum for buying because gold is bearish. If we go back and look at yesterday, and what do we see yesterday? This is yesterday's chart. The opening of Asia. This is Tokyo, this first big red candle. The Japanese market pushed it way down. Then the Asian market, what I call the Asian market, Singapore and Shanghai, started to push it up a little bit, but not much, not very strong. And then went sideways for a couple of hours, and then started to fall down again around midday in Southeast Asia, and then started to come back up a little bit, but not there's not a lot of buying power in here. And this is London going across sideways. And just as the London is still open, and then the U.S. market starts to open, and they pushed it way down, a big move down there, and then they had a this was the Asian low right here. So the U.S. market took out the Asian low. You could call that a liquidity sweep. Came back up and then took out another sweep there, getting all the liquidity, the pending orders, the stop losses, and then trying to go up. But there's just not any buying power. There's not enough buyers in the market right now for gold. You see what we have yesterday? We have lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and lower lows all throughout yesterday. Gold is bearish. And it doesn't matter what analyst you listen to on YouTube, your favorite analyst on CNBC, everybody will tell you gold has cooled off. You know, we almost reached 6,000 very recently, but now we're trading at 4876 or exactly 4887. That's a long way from 6,000 where we almost hit 6,000. We're now trading below below 4.9, and our pivot point here is around 4.9, just a little bit above that. Hello, Howard. What music is that? Music. Oh, I think. Oh, thank you very much, Howard. I didn't realize I even had the music on. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yeah, that would have just annoyed me like crazy if I had been watching myself. I did turn it on. I had it supposed to be background music for the first 30 seconds or something while I'm getting organized, but I didn't realize that it was still going. Thank you very much for that. So I don't know, maybe you haven't heard anything I've said so far. Let's go over this again. Here we are today on a 15-minute chart. This is my usual trend line chart. And the first candle, the 8 o'clock a.m. Indo-China time, the first candle for Singapore and Shanghai opening, broke above this first trend line. And normally I would go long on that. But I'm very hesitant to do any buying with gold right now because gold is bearish. Gold is bearish on the H4 chart and bearish on the day one chart. And we just don't have any buying power. You can look at this, just now we've got a doji on the second candle. It just there's no momentum here for buying. And as I just showed you this is yesterday, where we've got lower highs and we've got lower lows. And it doesn't matter what analyst you listen to on YouTube or CNBC or whoever you listen to, they will tell you gold has cooled off, and it's definitely there's a bearish bias for gold. And so when something is bearish, like it is now, gold is bearish, we all agree on that, okay? I look for an opportunity to go short. Oh, man. Okay. Now, I think the music came back on inadvertently. Is the music gone now, Howard? I don't know what's going on with my streaming platform here. It's taken over a life of its own. I'm really sorry about that. I didn't realize the music was playing because I don't hear what's going on in the background. Okay, good. Really sorry about that. Okay, now we're all good here. So maybe nobody has heard anything I've been saying for the last 10 minutes. We're looking at gold on the 15-minute chart, and this is my trend line chart where normally if gold breaks above the trend line like it did here, I would look to go long. But gold is bearish. Okay, gold is bearish. And that's on the 4-hour chart and the day chart. It's been bearish on the 4-hour chart all this week and just turned bearish on the day chart yesterday. And you can see we did break above the trend line here, which would normally be a buy signal for me, but now this second candle is already starting to fall back. In fact, I can get rid of this one here. So it cleans up the chart a little bit. There we go. And the new picture is now gold is bearish. You look at yesterday, this is all day yesterday. This is Tokyo opening bearish, came up a little bit, then continued bearish, came up a little bit more, then continued bearish in the US session. Then we had some zigzag sideways session in New York. But you got lower lows and lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. All of this. This is a bearish chart we're looking at here. And any analyst you listen to will tell you that gold has cooled off, and now we're looking at lower prices. Where we are now is trading at 4883, and that's compared to where we were very recently at almost 6,000. So we're already seeing lower prices. So when something is bearish, as you know, I look for an opportunity to sell. If you're scalping and you want to take some long trades, okay, that's fine. If that's your strategy, that's your style of trading. But I prefer to just be patient and wait for a sell trade, a good short signal. And for me today, that's going to be to break below this green action line here that I have here, and then I would put my stop loss above the safety line, above the red line here. So it'll need to work its way over here a little bit, give me a better risk to reward ratio. And our first target would be this one here, 4813. That's our first line of support. That's according to the pivots uh, indicator that I use in TradingView. It's pretty accurate. So it looks like it's going to be a very quiet session today. We might just jump over and see if we've got any news going on. Here's forexfactory.com, and just about 27 minutes ago, we had the official cash rate for New Zealand, and they were forecast to not change the interest rate. Let me refresh that screen and see what happened. Yeah, and it stayed the same. The interest rate stayed the same. There's no change in the interest rate for the New Zealand dollar. And then in another 30 minutes, they have just the press conference on the New Zealand dollar. And then the other item today is on the pound, the inflation data for the Great British Pound. So if you trade the pound, you want to be watching that because that's a very high impact news item, the CPI data. And then tomorrow, or tonight, late after midnight in Southeast Asia, we have the FOMC, very, very important for the U.S. economy. That's where they explain what their thoughts are about lowering or raising the interest rate, what kind of decisions they are going to be making. And then there's some more from the New Zealand economy than the Australian economy tomorrow morning. So check forexfactory.com for your local times. Go back to our 15-minute gold chart, and we can just look and see, just out of curiosity, what did the New Zealand economy do? What did the dollar do? The New Zealand US? Oh, yeah. That when you get interest rate news, it's always very, very high impact. It was a big move on that one. So this might likely continue to lower prices on the New Zealand US. And look at the odd US, and it didn't do too much. Sometimes they trade in tandem, but not today. And that's New Zealand there. If you trade the New Zealand, the Euro New Zealand, or the New Zealand US, or anything with the New Zealand CAD, you want to have been watching that one. Go back to our gold chart. Yeah, it's a very, very, very quiet day today, at least starting off. So nothing happening. There's not going to be any trade taken by me. It's going to be a while before this should start to work its way down to my action line here. And if it breaks below this and closes below this, then I will go short. But as gold is bearish, I'm looking for an opportunity to go short, take a sell trade. Now we have 4,900 is our strong resistance. That's a strong psychological number. And as gold is bearish, it's not likely to break above that. We are very likely to see lower prices. And if we just go to our, see if I can go to my 4-hour chart. Let me cancel that and save this. Okay, that's done. And where was I? 4-hour chart. And here we go. This is the 4-hour chart. So you can see we've been trading almost 2 weeks, kind of in a very tight range, with a little bit of a breakout 10 days ago, but it came back up and stayed in that range where we were all last week. And now we're getting another little bit of a breakout here just yesterday, and we might come down to lower prices very, very soon. And where would we go? Well, we have this gap here between previous price of 4,400. Now we're trading at 4,800. So that's a long way away, but it wouldn't surprise me if this comes right back down and fills that gap. It's not going to happen today, all right? But over the next week or two, we might see that come down to the 4,400 zone. We're here, we're back in here. This is back in the first week of January, and then it came again in the first week of February. So we might see it back down there and give us what is called a triple bottom, but time will tell. So back on the 15-minute chart, this is our third candle and we're getting nothing. No action today. No action whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, guys. I appreciate you being here. Thanks again. And don't forget to like and share. and then I will see you again tomorrow, same time. 8 a.m. Indochina time in Southeast Asia or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow.